Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide. Well, last night I was hitting the refresh button on both my Remarkable 2 and Remarkable 1, and the update 2.9 finally came through, so let's explore it. And here it finally is, the long-awaited release 2.9 for the Remarkable platform. Last night I received it both on my Remarkable 1 and the Remarkable 2, so regardless of which device you have, you should be getting it if you didn't get it by now. Just a clarification why I didn't actually do a video on this one before. It is because it has been in beta for a very long time, but only now it has hit the official release, and I think that only official releases need to be reviewed. Beta is beta for a reason. So what are the things that we are getting in this long-awaited update? Well, it's long-awaited because it has three really big updates, and yeah, they are quite something. First, and most importantly of all, the screen share experience has been completely revamped. They haven't upgraded the live share, they've went away with it, so live share is no more. Now instead you have a screen share, and that's a good thing. You will see why. Next, we have Quick Browse, which is basically your navigation browser or a navigation pane to easily browse through a document or a notebook. So something that has been lacking on the reader side of things. Finally, we get to have that side of things of the Remarkable also addressed, which is something I like. I wish I had seen a little bit more, but at least at this point, anything that deals with the usability of the reader side of things is a good thing to see and a move in the right direction. And finally, we have a new thing, which is for me as equally or even more so transformative and important as the screen share, and that is what they call document drawer, but for all intents and purposes, that's an easily accessible history. So you can easily jump back to any document or any notebook that you may have used in the past or the favorites. So let's jump in and examine the new features. Okay, first let's check out the document drawer or the document navigation bar. The way to access it is a very easy new gesture. One finger from the bottom up, and you slide up, and there it is. And this is a very standard type of an affair that you've probably seen on other platforms, but there are a couple of things that are quite good about it, which is worth noting. First of all, it's dynamically interactive, and it is showing you exactly not only which page you are at, but if you do have a table of contents in your document, as the My Daily Organizer does have, then you will see the chapter titles as well. So this is a really good thing, combined with the preview of the page and the super responsiveness, which is I think the vitally important element of this. When you combine all of these things together, this is a very usable tool to have. At the same time, everything is here in one glance. Current page, out of how many pages, which page am I looking at, preview of the page, and the chapter that I'm in. Release, and you are there, but you will notice that there's one dot here, and that's my history. So that is the page that I came from. Now the only problem with that is, as if you've seen, after a little while that navigation bar goes away, or the drawing, whatever, document drawing, but the problem here is that when you swipe up, that history is now gone. And I think that that's a missed opportunity. This should have remained here. At least one history point should remain locked to the navigation bar or document drawer, so that you can come back to it, because yeah, if you've moved here, you do something and then you want to go back to the page where you were, if it was there, why didn't it stay there? So hopefully That's a minor improvement that maybe they'll just kind of add it and issue it so that we get like a 2.9 point something in the near future so that we get that functionality. If that's there, then I'm all good, and I think that the navigation, let's call it the way they call it, document drawer, then it works properly and is a proper addition to the Remarkable platform. And it works equally well in landscape format and in notebooks as well. So for example, here I have a landscape notebook that I was just drawing something around. And what's cool about it is that when you're testing out, let's say, an animation here with different frames, you can actually, using the preview pane, you can make the ball bounce back and forth, and you can see that the performance is very fast and very fluid, and it behaves exactly the same as you would expect it to behave in landscape mode and in notebooks as well. And now I have opened a fairly large EPUB file, so it also works on EPUBs as well, and works in the exact same way. And the most important part is that the navigation itself is quick. The preview is slow, and that is the Achilles heel of the Remarkable platform at the moment, because the way the EPUB is processed and kind of handled, it's fine if you have a smaller book, let's say 50 to 100 pages. But once you actually get to the really big books, then it has some issues to actually keep up. Eventually, you know, you can see that it's sped up, so it took a little bit of time to kind of skip and read all over the place, but yeah, it's able to kind of keep up. But it could be a good thing to better memory management, better kind of dealing with the EPUB file would be needed. But yeah, it's definitely working as you would expect it to, and you have the dot as from before that you can jump back to. Now let's just see, does the dot disappear in the EPUB as well? So let's say I finish this and I'll go here and then it's gone. Okay, so same functionality on documents, EPUBs and notebooks, portrait or landscape mode. Excellent. And of course, the thing that I've been calling document drawer is actually the quick browse, and the document drawer is the thing that I'm going to be showing now. Apologies for that. So now for the real document drawer. This one also functions with a new gesture, and this time you use two fingers to simply slide from the top down. So the upper portion of the screen, two fingers down, and that gesture will bring down the document drawer or your history pane or bar or whatever you want to call it. Now this will display your recent or your favorite documents. The favorites are of course the starred ones that you could do before. So the important thing to remember here is that in the recent or the favorites, you will have the listing of all of your documents, books or notebooks. So everything that you've used is listed here, and no, it's not limited just to these four, because you can definitely slide all the way to here. And how many do you have? Well, in this instance, I have 9, but I don't know if I have honestly accessed more than 9 in the last 24 hours or even 12 hours since last night, since I've gotten the update. So it's something that I'm going to be testing out and seeing how much of a history can you go through. But even if it's like 9-10, that's for most daily needs, it's more than enough. And for anything that you don't need for that day, you can always put it as a favorite, and then that's a really cool thing. Things that could be useful to see in the future is basically some kind of organization and categorization of your favorites, because in the long term, if you are favoriting, you can have your favorite PDFs or favorite I don't know, work related stuff, favorite person related stuff, or whatever it may be. But I can see the favorites list kind of growing to be really large, and unless there's like a limit to maybe 10 favorites, and if you end up with 50 documents, it could end up a little bit difficult to kind of go wish until you get to the one there. So that's where a little bit of organization and maybe directory nesting or some kind of hierarchical structure for the favorites could be beneficial, not necessary, but just a beneficial thing. However, this thing is incredibly important and incredibly useful. Why? Well, if you if anyone has used Remarkable, then you know that one of the things that was always a bit of an issue is like how do you easily go from, let's say, a PDF to a notebook, because you don't have associated notebooks or you don't have an option to associate a notebook to a PDF. And before, there were like methods that you can put them all in the same directory and all that kind of stuff to kind of make it a little bit easier, but now there's no need. So in a practical example here, for example, on the My Daily Organizer, and if let's say I'm using my daily note here and I want to expand the daily note into more information on the contained in a notebook that's called 2021 August 18th, all I need to do now is simply swipe down, tap on the notebook in question, and I have my information here. So now I can continue writing and or refer back to some information that's already contained in this notebook. And when I'm done, I simply swipe down, go back to the daily organizer or whichever document that you want to go to, and that's it. Or for example, maybe you have a notebook that's going to be your separate meeting notes that can use the template that you want or anything like that. And again, you can just simply swipe down, tap on the document, write what you need. Once you're done, swipe down, go back to the organizer or whichever thing you may be using, and there you go. The same thing goes if you're a student and you're taking notes. So if you're reading through a document or a research documentation of some sort, and you need to write down your notes, you can have basically running in parallel several notebooks or several documents, and this is a complete game changer for the platform. The usability of the Remarkable platform really goes way up with this functionality. This is something that we've been waiting for quite a while, and I'm incredibly happy to see it implemented and to see it implemented this well and functioning as it should. It is keeping in tone the simplicity of the Remarkable platform, but it is adding the functionality, and that's all that we've talked about since the release of it almost a year ago now. Simplicity doesn't mean that functionality has to be sacrificed, and update 2.9 is most definitely the proof of that. So I'm very happy to see this, and this is an excellent thing to have on the Remarkable. So double thumbs up for this one as well. And now we come to the big one, which is the screen sharing option. And the only way that the screen sharing option works right now is if you are using the desktop app, whether it's on PC or Mac, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't work on the mobile app. So that's something that you need to be aware of. Also, what you need to be aware of is that your desktop app needs to be updated to the latest version, and I believe, well, the latest version that on Windows I have is 2.8.1. So if you have that done, and finally both your desktop Remarkable and your Remarkable tablet, they all need to be logged into the same account, obviously, for this to work. So if you have those prerequisites met, then you will be able to use the screen share, which is the coolest part of the 2.9 update, and a complete game changer as far as the screen sharing and usability of the device goes. How does it work? Well, you need to enable it, or you enter the screen share mode. The desktop app has to be running, as I already mentioned, but you cannot enter it in a system-wide manner. So you have to be in a document of some sort. So let's just go into a notebook here. And once you're in a notebook, here down at the bottom, you have the sharing options. So in the share options, you simply tap on that, And you can see that now the live view is gone, and instead of live view we have present with screen share. And as soon as I tap on present with screen share, it's going to tell me this. You can also tell it not to do it, but I've left it here so that you can see the guidelines here. Oh yeah, and an important one is that the Remarkable and the desktop computer have to be on the same Wi-Fi network as well. So that's another prerequisite. That's a very, very important one to actually have. So let's summarize. Desktop app needs to be running of the latest version, 2.8.1 or later. Both your Remarkable and the desktop or laptop computer have to be linked to the same Wi-Fi connection so that they're using the same internet. And yeah, your desktop needs to be logged into the same account that your Remarkable is. And once you are done with those, then you can just click on connect to app, and instantly, as soon as you clicked, you will get a request on the desktop app that says present with screen share. As soon as you click on accept, you will have the connection being established, and you will see on a device this discrete little frame, black frame around it, that is basically indication that you are sharing. I know this is a simple thing, but I absolutely love the design decision around this one, because it's an outline that is very easily noticeable for those who are used to working with the Remarkable, but it's discreet enough not to interfere with anything. So it's not a stupid little recording or sharing or something like that that's taking up screen real estate. No, it's just a very discreet little border around the screen to actually indicate, hey, you're still in screen sharing mode, which I believe is a fantastic design decision. Once you are in screen sharing mode, everything that you do on the screen is shared. So basically your navigation of the pages is pretty much there normally. The performance is absolutely in real time. This is a huge improvement over the speed, stability, and everything else when compared to the old system. So as you can see, I've intentionally kept it in one longer shot, not riveting material, but factually relevant, because you're able to see more in more realistic way what this actually is and how it works. So when I received the update last night, I tested the screen live share in one long session of 1 hour, where I was going from a notebook to a document, from portrait to landscape, and I'm going to show that as well. But I just want to say that the performance never, not once hitched, not once dropped out, nothing. You just started your screen share session, it simply worked, and when you're done, you were done. So that's how this stuff is supposed to work, and I am absolutely thrilled to see that this is how it works. When you compare it to the hitchiness and the inconsistency of any Android Miracast service, they are incomparable. This is by light years better and more rock solid and more consistent than any Miracast that connection that I've ever been able to establish. So as far as the screen sharing portion goes, Remarkable 2 has now gone up in the world and into a category of its own, and I think that it performs better than any Android device, including books devices or anything that's using a Miracast, simply because it performs better. it's better implemented, it's simpler, and it's more rock solid, and it just works. So what are the other features that you can have with this one? Well, there's one thing that's really cool, and that is if you hover your marker just above, like maybe half a centimeter above the screen, you will see in the app that you have the presentation marker. So this is something that if you're doing your presentations, you can actually point to a section as if you had a laser pointer. This is, again, an incredibly smart, well-focused, and well-implemented feature of the screen share or the presentation mode, which is absolutely fantastic. So something that you definitely can keep in mind. Now, how does it work when I actually switch from a document to a document? Does it exit the screen share option or not? Well, no, not really. So if I just swipe down and I go to the menu, I get a notification what you can do, and you can disconnect if you want, but my connection is not broken, and that's really important. And you have a little connection here that's actually saying this document is currently being presented, which is fine by me. So let's say that I want to go back to my files here, and I go to, let's say, MDO, and I open it up, and as soon as I open up a new document, presto, you can see it also has a frame, and now I'm presenting this document, and it works exactly the same, be it whether it's a document or a book or a notebook. Now, when you combine this feature of presenting with the desktop or the document drawer, when I can just simply switch between one and the other document, you can see that the screen share session is continuous and it is not interrupted. You don't have to go from here to there or anything like that. And most importantly, the privacy of my own personal organization of the device itself is retained. I actually like that quite a lot, because I don't want to present these things. I only want to present what you can see on the screen there. So this is a really good thing to see, and I think that it works pretty much perfect. Now, another thing from a technical side of things that I really enjoy is that if I swipe down and I now go to this document, which is a landscape notebook, and I just tap on it, for example, you will see that the presentation has automatically switched to the landscape mode without any problems at all. So now I can use the navigation pane and show my little bouncy ball animation, of course, and you can see just how quick the screen share option is. It is absolutely spectacular. And once I'm done, I can swipe down and then say, hey, maybe I want to go to Count Monte Cristo now. And it's going to swap into a portrait mode without any problem. And then you actually do what you want, and you go back into my daily organizer or whatever it is that you may be using. And once you are done and you're done with your screen sharing session, you simply go back to the icon that's highlighted here in the screen or the share options, and you go stop sharing your screen. It is stopped and you're done. Simple, straightforward, functional, usable, pretty much perfect. Now that's what I'm talking about. So 1 year in, pretty much as good as exactly 1 year in, and finally we have focus on the Remarkable platform as far as software development goes, and it definitely shows and culminates with an update 2.9. Boy, what an update. Talk about a platform defining update. So we're no longer seeing the doodling around and kind of the lost in space type of development that we've had since the launch of Remarkable 2, all the way up to, well, let's be generous and say update 2.6, when some kind of semblance of focus started to emerge. But yeah, since 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, and now culminating with 2.9, we see that they as a company are finally focusing in and are full steam on board with their Remarkable platform. And just keep in mind, as I kept repeating, the same update, the same functionalities are available on the same day on the Remarkable 1, which is now going to be 4 years old, and it works just as well. So I know some of you may think that I'm just being critical of Remarkable. No, I'm not. I am trying to be objective. When they're doing stuff that's not good enough, I'll say that it's not good enough. When there's a problem, I'll point it out, analyze it, and offer suggestions on how to resolve it, what needs to be done. But when they do stuff that's good and stuff that's damn good, of course I'm gonna acknowledge it, and of course I'm gonna be happy about it, because lest you forget, I love the Remarkable 2 quite a lot. Well, I don't know if I love Remarkable 2 or Remarkable 1 more. Maybe that's going to be a different video, but I love what Remarkable as a focus is. And the most frustrating thing that I've had so far with the Remarkable 2 was that on the launch, it delivered too little. So it was not what it's supposed to have been. Now this is what it should have launched with, and if they had done that, it would have been an absolute freaking knockout. But in this case, it's better late than never, because they've managed to kind of iron out some of the issues that they had in the beginning, and software-wise, we are seeing a platform that's finally maturing into a real-world usability platform that has functionalities as well. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that I am very happy to see that we're finally seeing that change of mentality, that lack of functionality is not explained away by the excuse of simplicity. And that's something I've been saying all along. Simplicity doesn't mean lack of functionality. And finally, 2.9 absolutely proves that. So we are having a very functional device, very real-world usable device. And now finally, as well, in areas more than just the speed of writing and the writing feel, Remarkable 2 is starting to excel with the screen share. Because as I mentioned, the ease of use, the reliability, the rock solidness of it, the sheer speed of it, and how it actually works is how I expect things should work in 2021. This is not what we have with Android and Miracast. More often than not, it's a fiddly thing. Does it work? Does it not work? It's like meh. And even when it works, it is so far from rock solid that, yeah, it's basically, oh, well, that's how things work. Not anymore. After the update 2.9 on the Remarkable, the screen sharing functionalities of these devices, they have a new yardstick that they have to look up to, and that's the value of competition. Raise the yardstick so others can actually try to meet it and top it. Remarkable 2, raise the yardstick with the screen sharing functionality, speed, rock solidness, and everything else that others now need to try and match. Overall, if I need to summarize the update 2.9, I would define it as a platform-defining update, because you really do have a platform that was one thing before update 2.9, and now you're going to have a very different platform, the usability of the platform, and just how powerful it is, the functionality of it, after 2.9. So all in all, incredibly exciting update. Go get the update if you have the Remarkable 2. Get the update, get used to the new gestures, and create your own workflow so that you can implement these absolutely powerful features and have fun and enjoy. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you have fun with the update 2.9, as I know that I will have, because next week my lectures are starting and I'm already going to be utilizing it immediately on the first day so that I can screen share on the projector and show stuff off that way. If you like the video and you like what I do, check out the links down below and check out the subscribe and ding the notification button to get notified when new videos come out on My Deep Guide. Also, you can check out the link for the My Daily Organizer, and again, just another reminder, yes, My Daily Organizer 2022 is still on track. It is now in the testing phase, so early September release is still on track. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!